Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the bloggers thing as an archive post, and for extra support and all that jazz, I also do everything on Patreon, and any kind of updates I will go about on Twitter. Yesterday I did manage to get around and do some live streaming on Elden Ring. It was a longer one. I did a lot of stuff, did some Death Birds and some Knights Cavalry and all that jazz. And we almost, I think now we are, the next one we're going to add to Ryalukari Academy, see what that's all about there. And yeah, today there is no gaming episode, only tomorrow Jedi Fallen Order. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do some streaming today, but again, any kind of these kind of things, just pay attention to the Twitter thing. When I stream, for sure, I will let know there on that platform. Again, VODs, I got the 17. I will be able to upload today the 18 VOD, so yeah, not yesterday, the day before, so Monday. Sorry, Monday stream. I think it will be ready for tomorrow, publishing for tomorrow. And again, it always takes a couple of days here to catch up with the VOD stuff. Yeah, I think we are, in terms of the channel thingy, we are kind of catched on par. Regarding industry news, similarly, the 7900 XTX, it's slowing a little bit more now at $900, which is decent price, even though this one, it's this specific model is for MSI classic model, the classic model to a certain degree, which is the, let me see, the yeah, Trio Classic, whatever this is. They usually MSI has a lot of variants, but again, all of these AIB ones are pretty excellent in terms of performance, even though the top tier, let's say, usually come from the Sapphire and the Hellbound stuff, which is I forget the brand there. But yeah, we got already some drops here and there throughout the year to $800 flat. But then again, we got here on Newegg for $900, so supposedly it's lower, like $100 lower than the MSRP for this model, give or take. Yeah, it's an excellent CPU, at least for my use case. I got one of the it's the XFX, the 310 Merc or whatever it is, got a long name there. But yeah, play games 4K 60 at least. I've been testing out to start off maybe Dead Space Remake. I got basically almost everything on at least high, and it goes around 4K 70-ish kind of a thing there, without any FSRs or any kind of upscaling technology. So yeah, it plays games at 4K 60, at least that's my bare minimum. And of course, got the 24 gigabytes of VRAM, which is more than enough for me in terms of productivity work, at least the things that I do. So I think it's, again, 800 will be a better price, but 900 is not that bad, especially from AAB. The reference model, again, it's not excellent in the extent that it's not overclockable. And also yeah, and I've been using my own without overclocking so far, so I'm satisfied with I just put the fan curve like silent mode or balance mode, but it stays pretty silent, so I'm pretty satisfied with the performance of the GPU, and it's still on par with even with the 4080 Super. They trade blows between each other, so they are very similar. Except for ray tracing, in some cases the 4080 Super just excels at that. But yeah, then you get the preference regarding the upscaling technology. If you prefer DLSS or FSR, even though in terms of quality, objectively, I think DLSS seems a little bit or way better than the FSR2. I never tried the FSR technology, at least in my case. I don't see any reason to do so. I don't see huge differences above 60 frames per second. Maybe it's just me. I only notice like drop frames, stutterings, this little screen tearing, but I don't have this kind of issue on the games that I've been playing here, at least for my case. But yeah, if you're looking for one of them, this is not a bad price to get one of these GPUs at this price point. Continuing with this, I think this is coming out from GDC, Games Developers Conference, if I'm not mistaken. Similarly, the GDDR7 from Samsung, which at this moment is aiming at least at 28 gigabytes per second, it's similarly been showcased for at least this the new NVIDIA Blackwell stuff for the server things, the AI stuff. Again, the overall thing with this GDDR7 compared to the GDDR6X, it's again lower frequency, lower voltages, so less power to do the same thing, and in terms, especially in terms of reduction of thermal resistance, 70%, which is with that it's lower temperatures. And sometimes in some cases in some GPUs the memory temperatures there might be an issue on throttling the system itself, because if again any kind of component, when it reaches that thermal resistance of starting to throttling itself, we can degrade the experience and also the performance of the components itself. But yeah, 20% power efficiency improvement, again the thermal resistant things, and of course the fastest speed there. At least for the RTX, they're not. I don't think this will come at this moment in time for the Blackwell GPUs, for the gaming GPUs, mainly because the fact that the RTX 50 series, I don't think they can even take any kind of advantage of this GDDR7 at this moment in time. I think they are limited around 28 gigabytes, if that much. I don't think they will take a lot of advantage here, mainly because of how the memory bit bus functions. It's similar to the 4090s. It's 392 or whatever, around about those values. And at this moment in time, GDDR7 is around 28, between 28 to 32 gigabytes per second. It theoretically can reach higher speeds in next iterations of this thing. Maybe the GDDR7X, something like that, might be able to reach a little bit more. But at this moment in time, from what I've been seeing, the RTX 5000 will not take full, even the 5090 will not take full advantage of this. And again, this new memory stuff, I think it will be a little bit more expensive here. And again, they are betting everything on AI. I think they are going to take advantage more of this on the Blackwell Hopper stuff, or whatever they are calling the monolithic thing for the AI thing. But yeah, it's good to see that at least it's being implemented. Again, faster speeds will improve a lot of stuff. And I'm not sure how this will be comparable again with the thing that I covered yesterday, the way they might go around with the cache thing. I don't know if I think this is not implemented here, because again that was a study, like a theoretical paper, supposedly it had it, and I think it's only going to be around when GDDR8 is being implemented. I think if it is going to be implemented, that cache thing there that I spoke yesterday. Very interesting things. It's a way to speed up the workloads and the access of memory for the workloads that need to be done on the GPU side, and the fact that then you got also DirectX workcrafts, I think it's called, the API stuff, which is transfers like the shader stuff. I think it's the shader stuff from the CPU, that workload from the CPU, and just put it on the GPU. And of course, if you get all those workloads, and those workloads can be accessed faster from the GPU chip to present to the monitor with faster memory, I think we will see some improvements more. I think we'll see a little bit more revolution regarding the memory itself and how it works, and with the chip itself, than the like huge amounts of performance on the CPU die, the GPU die, let's say, than the Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of memory in in the upcoming year or so. But yeah, it's good to see at least it's being implemented. I don't know how much it will affect the final cost of the product itself, but yeah. Continuing with AI stuff, it's good to see some competition on the market. Sorry, from AMD. Supposedly they are shipping huge quantities of the MI300X accelerators, which will be basically around 7% of the AI market alone. Again, even though I'm not huge fan of this AI stuff here, the way that can be utilized, and it's being utilized to a certain extent. But at least in all markets, I like to see at least some competition on that. It's got some factors here. The fact that AMD might be able to get this around 7% of the capture 7%, so it's removing 7% of the market from Nvidia, is for main two reasons. The first, that basically Nvidia cannot deliver the huge amounts of demand on this AI accelerator things, and the fact that the MI300X really does excel comparatively, at least with the Grasshopper H100, like double memory capacity and all that thing here. It is pretty good, and the fact that, of course, in terms of price to performance, usually AMD usually nails that in their overall products. We've been seeing that even on consumer end products like CPUs and GPUs, they usually can get almost at least very similar performance or the roundabouts there, but they can make the product a little bit more cheaper than the Nvidia counterparts. And I like to see competition in any market because in that sense, usually it's the final consumer that usually benefits with that. Given the proper that you have the proper amount of freedom for the markets to work properly in a free market, or what we usually call the free market conditions here, which is the more competition, they will compete with each other and they will fight for the market overall on their segment for delivering better products at the lower cost possible for them. And when they're fighting each other, the prices tend to come a little bit more down, and the final consumer will benefit from that. But yeah, it's good to see that at least we have some competition on this side, because to a certain degree, I think this might translate to a certain degree on the our end of the gaming thing with the CPUs and GPUs and all that stuff. From them, they usually it tends to trickle down some of the technologies there. We've been hearing rumors from the 8000 GPUs from AMD that they have a little bit better AI accelerators also there. I think they are going to introduce on the console stuff there some AI upscaling technology, proprietary at least for the moment in time for the consoles. I don't know how this will translate for the upscaling technology on the PC. Because at this moment in time it's open software. It's not like a proprietary algorithm doing all the upscaling on the PC. FSR free is open source, so I don't know how this is going to translate to the market at this moment in time, of course. But yeah, it's good to see that at least we got something here, even though the prices are not lowering as we want. But at least competition usually drives prices down a little bit, and we will benefit with this in the long term. And finally, we got SSD manufacturers are increasing production capacities. There was a very kind of lull, which gave the consumer a good opportunity to buy NVMEs and SSDs at a lower price. But this is starting to get around and kind of ending that lower price. And there are some predictions that we might get almost or at around 55% rise in prices this year, by the end of this year, supposedly. But yeah, NAND flash pricing is expected to increase around 10 to 50% in the upcoming quarters, so maybe 10% each quarter. I don't know. something like that or around that, which make the SSDs a little bit more expensive. But at least they are getting around on making more of that. And again, this price hike, it's mainly to reflect the fact that the industry, at least in terms of the SSDs and this kind of memories, the NAND memory stuff, they've been losing a lot of money. Some of them is being sold at a loss to a certain extent, which is kind of interesting. And again, they for sure will want to recoup the fact that they lost they lost money in the last quarters. That's why we are seeing kind of a correction per se. So they need to recoup that loss and start getting some more of the profit there. I think this is kind of an overcorrection throughout this year in terms of the prices there, but I will assume, given that afterwards we will get more stock of NAND things, and of course the demand here is mainly because of the AI stuff also has some effect there. At least that's my perception. But yeah, the main thing is we will see some rises on at least SSD or anything that has a NAND memory chip there. We will see some rises on the prices there. So if you're thinking about buying something with the NAND, like an SSD and NVMe for your system, I think you might want to take a chance at this moment in time, because the prediction is the prices will be higher until the end of the year. Yeah, it's not excellent news, but yeah, if the companies don't make money, they stop making the product itself. So it's one of those things. But yeah, regarding the industry is basically what I got here that caught my eye. Supposedly on gaming side, Alone in the Dark came out, got some reviews here, and I watched a couple of them at least, and the consensus seems to be around between 6.5 to 7.5, give or take. It's not an excellent game. I think this, in terms of story-wise, it's pretty okay. Again, graphic fidelity is not the forte on this game. In terms of the puzzling stuff, seems good enough. I think the main complaint is the resource management and the shooting part of the game. Seems to be the more complaints that we have. Very basic, no intricate or any like more nuanced systems there regarding the shooting. For example, you got the melee weapon that can break. I think it's similar to like The Last of Us. You got a few hits that you can do with that weapon, but you can only bring one at a time. I think even with the throwables, you can bring only one throwable at your hand, and when you pick up that throwable, for you not to drop, you have to basically permanently aim, and when you aim with the throwable, it zooms in and you just walk very slowly, and removes a little bit the immersiveness of the experience there. And yeah, you basically only have like three main weapons. There is no upgrade system there, even like not even different kinds of ammo or something like that. It's a little bit basic on that side, but yeah, in terms of overall the story and like I think the replayability, you can replay this one more time between the two main characters. I think that's the main hook there. But yeah, and again, the concierge story doesn't quite hold together like a whole. I think a few dumb puzzles in the mix. Not every realm is a winner. Some performance issues. Again, this is not good performance issues in terms of the optimizations there. But yeah, the weird ambience there, and the manor itself, which is the main location there. Yeah, it's very replayable also, mainly because it's basically two main stories, or the main story seen through two different perspectives. But yeah, overall it's not an excellent game, but it's not a horrible game either. Yeah, at least from the reviews that I saw, basically it goes around this kind of 7 out of 10 kind of score there. Unless we got here something interesting that I got my eye. Project Birdseye. It was announced, no release date announced, not even platforms. From CraftCon, which is basically the same guys that own Striking Distance from Callisto Protocols. Basically, this project Birdseye. It's like an action roguelike shooter kind of a thing here in the same universe that the Callisto Protocol. Seems pretty interesting the way the art style that they went to. Again, the view it's isometric. Seem to be in line with some mechanics of the main game, which is some focus on melee combat there, and we got also the weapon stuff. Again, I will advise you to watch the first look. Seems pretty interesting. Again, I always like a good roguelike kind of a game there. But yeah, this is like a side project to a certain degree. It doesn't. I think it's not distracting the studio itself from the next main game. I'm not sure if they are working at the moment on Callisto Protocol 2. One of the main complaints of Callisto Protocol is like the story ends on a huge cliffhanger. And yeah, hopefully they can get around all these issues. Hopefully also I would like to see more optimization in terms of the game engine, because I think it still suffers from here and there with some performance issues. I'm not sure if it is completely smoothed out, but yeah, it's an interesting. I always like to see this kind of games, and I'm talking about the Callisto Protocol. At least they try to tweak and experiment with different systems there, or similar systems with Dead Space, but more focused on the melee part there. At least that's my perception. I never watched gameplay of the game itself. It's just from the articles that I'm reviewing. But yeah, at least we got a kind of side project. Hopefully it is a good roguelike action game there. And yeah, basically in terms of news is what I got. Let's go from some gaming deals. Deus Ex kind of added, it's still free at Epic Game Store until the 21st, so until tomorrow, give or take. So this is a good play, even just the base game. Usually, from time to time, it gets on a deal, on a sale, on Steam or even in GOG. And usually, when it is, I usually try to highlight that. I think it's at this moment in time is on the spring sale. Because I already have this game on my library. I think I did this like last week. I have to do again the games that are on spring sale that I already have in the library. I need to highlight those again before the spring sale is over. Talking about that, we got on Steam Miasma Chronicles. Again, this is from the same guys that did Mutiny Zero, which is one of the games that I'm currently playing in my my active gameplay series. It's 60% off around a day or so until this offer is ended. Same thing, Resident Evil franchise. Again, I will put all the links on the Resident Evil games there. For you to check out if you need to complete the collection there. We got Spiritfarer demo if you're not sure about this game, but it is on sale 75% off. I think this is a very interesting game in terms of the story. It's one of those that I really want to try out, and it's again very positive reviews in overall cycle since it's been launched. We got Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the complete edition, 75% off the usual price here. Days Gone, the same thing, 75% off, around $12 or so. We got the Plague Tale bundle. It's on sale 62% off, or you can buy independently if you want to complete the collection. We got also Darkest Dungeon, 85% off the base game, and then you got several bundles. Again, I'm not sure. I think the Ancestral Edition is the complete one to a certain extent. There's all the DLC, and I think he has more classes there. I think it's this one, but I'm not sure. I will leave it to your discretion there. We got also Wolfenstein. This is the alternative history collection, so it's like the 4 mainline games there, which is the Old Blood, New Colossus, Old Blood, the New Order, New Colossus, and then finally we got the Young Blood. This is got the most mixed reviews. The rest at least positive to very positive, I think. Yeah, very positive, very positive, very positive. It's a pretty decent game here as a shooter. I'm not very huge fans of shooter, but this one it's quite interesting. I think I did this as, I think it was my first gameplay series that I did, was Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's a very old one. I think it's still 1080p, very low quality at the time there. Again, when I buy, I will eventually buy at least the free games with the Blazkowicz, I think it's called, the main game, the main protagonist, and I will do a rerun on those in 4K. We got also Doom and Doom Eternal. So we got Doom 80% off, and then Doom Eternal 75% off, and the Eternal Deluxe Edition got the DLC, the playable DLC here. And yeah, basically that's it in terms of gaming deals for today. Tomorrow I'm not sure. Tomorrow we'll get the spring sale off, yeah, 21st. Yeah, take advantage of the deals that are at this moment on Steam. A lot of good games at very low prices. And yeah, I'm going to wrap up for today, guys, with at least with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. This extra support at this moment in time is more for me to focus for more storage, for me to be able to get backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.